Hi there, it's Tracy and thanks for joining me today. There are so many fun ways you can use alcohol inks to add color to a card, and today I'm going to show you one of them. I'm using the beautiful shiny Mandala stamp set along with the simple technique for adding the ink. We're going to start off by heat embossing the mandala in white on Yupo paper. Just like with any embossing, we need to prep our surface first with an anti-static tool so the embossing powder doesn't stick where we don't want it to. I stamp my image first with some Versamark ink before adding the embossing powder. I always put a piece of paper under the area when I'm adding the powder to my image that I'm going to emboss. This catches some of the powder, which has a habit of going absolutely everywhere. One thing you're going to want to be careful with the Yupo paper is that it wants to warp from the embossing. So you want to try and keep your heat tool well away from the paper to minimize that warping. I always warm my heat gun up for at least a minute to make sure it's good and hot before it even hits the paper. Okay, now that that's done, we can have some fun. I trimmed my panel down to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I took out the plastic dish that I have in my craft room to add alcohol ink to my projects. I filled the container with about 1 inch of water, and then I started adding some inks. I started off with Wild Plum, and then I added some purple Twilight. I think I added 2 to 3 drops of each color. Next I added in a little bit of the silver mixatives. The mixatives are a bit thicker, so I ended up with a pool of it in the corner. So I took a straw and I swirled the ink together in the dish. Once I felt I had added enough color, I grabbed my embossed panel. I flipped it over so the embossed image would go face down into the water, and then I dropped it into the top of the water and I pulled it right through. Oh my goodness, can you see all that gorgeous color? I chose the big sending sugar script die to put on the front of my card, and I also made the second line of the title, Handmade Hugs, from the Sending Love stamp set. These were cut from purple cardstock that was a bit darker than the purple alcohol ink on the front of the card. So I added some pieces of foam tape behind the panel before adhering it to the card base. The foam tape helped minimize the appearance of the warped panel. Once I adhered that, I went ahead and I added my 2 lines of sentiment. So one was purple over the white shadow, and the second line of the title was embossed in white on that same purple cardstock. Okay, so there you have it. Thanks for stopping by today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.